Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's Sarah and today is day 24 of the Advent Read-A-Thon, and these are all the books that I read through the 24 days of this Read-A-Thon. So Merry Christmas Eve to everybody! It is the 24th day of December and the last day of this read-a-thon, and it's so sad that it's already over. I mean, I can't believe that it's already over. It just started yesterday, it feels like, and so I am really excited. I have completed almost all of the prompts, and the day is not over yet. So by the time the clock strikes 12 on Christmas Eve and on to Christmas Day, I will have all 12 of the challenges completed. Hopefully. So I'm going to show you what books I have read and which ones I am currently reading. So yes, let's get this wrap up started. The first book that I read was for Oh Christmas Tree, and that was to read a green book, and I read The Hazel Wood by Melissa Alberts, and I listened to it mainly on audiobook, but I did read along with it at some points, and so I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was so much creepier than I was expecting it to be. I knew it was going to be creepy going in, but I was just not prepared for the level of creepiness. At one point, I almost had to turn off the audiobook and I would be like, no, I can't continue this until the morning because it was at night, and I'm just like, I was just so creeped out by some points, but I really enjoyed this one, and I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. The next challenge was Deck the Hall with Boughs of Holly, and this one was to read a red book, and I read Dumpin by Julie Murphy, and then I also had to watch the movie afterwards, and I absolutely loved this one so much. Oh my goodness gracious. And it was so good. It was so good, and I've talked about it enough during the read-a-thon challenges. Like, y'all have seen me talk about it so much that I'm sure you're probably bored with me talking about it, but it was so good. Oh, it was so good, and it did have red on it, and the spine is red, so I completed the challenge. And I gave this one a 4.5 out of 5 stars. The next challenge was Silent Night, and this was to read a book solely at night, and I listened to How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Suess, and this one was only 12 minutes on audiobook, and it's only like 64 pages, and it is so good. I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars because, I mean, I had to. It's the Grinch. Like, I had to, and it's so good, and I love this story so much. It makes my heart grow 3 sizes, and it's so good. It's perfect. Just perfect. The next challenge was for Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and this was to read a book that had an animal featured somewhere, either on the cover or in the title, and I read The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. I listened to this one on audiobook, and it was so good. Oh my gosh, I loved all the aspects of it, the Russian folklore of it. It was so good, and it gave me so many feels, and I loved it so much, and I gave this one a 4.5 out of 5 stars. So the next challenge is Santa Claus is Coming to Town, and this was to read a book that will get you in the holiday spirit. And I listened to The Afterlife of Holly Chase by Cynthia and I loved this one so much. I loved the meta-ness of it, if that's a word. It was like a Christmas Carol, but it wasn't the same Christmas Carol story, but it was the same Christmas Carol story, and like there's a Christmas Carol agency, and like it just was so good. I loved this one. I love retellings of stories that I know, and there was such a twist to this that it was perfect. I loved it so much, and I gave this one a 4.5 out of 5 stars. The next challenge was for Jingle Bell, Jingle Bell, Jingle Bell Rock. And this one was to read a book that has been on your TBR for way too long, and you need to rock that TBR. And this one I finally read, The Elite by Kiera Cass. And by finally, I mean I finally finished it. I ended up restarting it and listening to it on audiobook because I figured that was the best way that I could get through it. Because meh. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. It was okay. It wasn't my favorite. Of the two, I liked the selection better, but I did like a lot of aspects of this one. I liked quite a bit of it, but I just felt like it was just way too... They just feel really jumpy to me, and I don't know what it is. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but it just feels very jumpy to me. So I did enjoy it for the most part, and I really liked the audiobook. I am going to continue the series, but it's just kind of meh at the moment, so we'll see. But then again, I'm always like that on second books in a series, so maybe it's that, but who knows. The next one is Away in a Manger. And this one is to read a Christmas classic, and I went with How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Suess. And I talked about this a little earlier, and I love this story so much, and it is a Christmas classic to me, and so that's the one I went with. So I really love this one, and yes. The next challenge is I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus. And this one is to read a book that has romance in it. And I am still reading, but I am a little more than 100 pages away from being done with it. I am reading Prince in Disguise by Stephanie Kate Strom, and this one I really am enjoying a lot. But I am planning on finishing this one up tonight. I don't have very much more, and I am really enjoying this story so far, so I can't wait to finish it and see what's gonna happen next. The next one is for We Wish You a Merry Christmas, and this one is to read a book that will give you all the feels, and I went with Austen Learned by Shannon Hale, and oh boy did it give me all the feels, all the Pride and Prejudice and Jane Austen feels, all the Darcy feels, all the feels of love and romance and everything in between. I loved this one so much. I gave this one a 4.25 out of 5 stars, and oh my gosh, oh, so good. Next one was for 6 White Boomers, Snow White Boomers. And this one was to read a more summery book. And I read To Be Honest by Maggie Ann Martin. And though this one wasn't technically set in summer, it did have summer vibes to them because they just went to school. So they were just getting out of summer break. So it all worked out kind of sort of in a way. But this one definitely gave me summer vibes. And this one I really enjoyed. I loved this one so much. I can't even explain. This one just, oh, I loved it so much. Oh my gosh. It was probably one of my favorite reads of 2018. Yeah. And this one I gave a 4.75 out of 5 stars. The next one was for All I Want for Christmas. And this one was to read a book that was gifted to you by somebody, and I read A Great and Terrible Beauty by Libba Bray, and I listened to it and followed along in the book with it, and I really enjoyed the story. I remember really enjoying it when I was younger, when I had read it for the first time, but there was so much that happened that I didn't remember happened. And so I'm really, really glad that I reread this one because it was well worth it. And I can't wait to finish this series up because I need to know what happens next to these characters. Why didn't I continue this series in the first place? I will never know, but I'm really glad that I reread this. And I gave this one a 4.5 out of 5 stars. And the final challenge is, oh, I wish it could be Christmas every day. And this is to read a book that will give you holiday nostalgia. And I had planned on reading Love and Other Trainwrecks by Leah Conan, and I did read a little bit of it, but I didn't get very far. I do plan on continuing this in December, a little bit later on, but I am going to go with something else in the next few hours. So I'm gonna go with this Disney Christmas storybook collection, and it's got all these different stories in it, from Disney characters, Disney and Pixar characters, and so I'm really, really excited about this. I got this for my kids at school to read to them on the last day, and I just was like, I need this in my life as well. And so it's got stories featuring Rapunzel and Mickey Mouse, which it's the Mickey Mouse Christmas Carol, and if that doesn't give me holiday nostalgia, I don't know what will. So I'm really, really excited to read the rest of these stories. I did read the Winnie the Pooh story to the kids, so I did read one of them technically, but I am going to continue reading the rest of the stories, and I'm so, so excited for this. And so I can't wait. And it shouldn't take me too long to read these stories because they've all got pictures and very large words. So I'm excited. So there you go. Those are all the books that I've read, all the books that I'm currently reading, and the ones that I plan to read for the next few hours. I am so, so excited, and I loved this readathon so, so much. I loved all the challenges, and it just was so much fun to just get into the holiday spirit, and it was so much fun. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, comment, and subscribe. And as always, until next time, happy reading and happy holidays. Bye guys.